Hello, my friend of the internet, and in this week's episode, we're gonna go over Mr. Cole Perfetti, and I think Perfetti in English means perfect or something like that, so we're gonna go ahead and see if he is indeed a perfect prospect. Let's do this. As always, let's take a look at his profile. For the size, pretty average. If we go down, I want to take a deeper look at the season he had last year in his draft -1. This year, he is one of the best point producer in the OHL with Rossi and Byfield. And this summer, he really put his name on the map at the Elenka. He was one of the best player with Team Canada. Okay, so let's watch in his draft -1 last year how he did. I ranked player from 2000 and 2001 to see where he was versus previous years. If I rank in gold, he finished 9th. And look at all the superstars that are near him. So he had 37 goals, and there's player like Taylor Hall, Tavares, really close, Monahan, Rick Nash, Duchesne. So there's a lot of really big names that turn out to be superstar. If you rank point per game, same thing, he finished 12th. So, I mean, that was a really unbelievable year he had last year, and this year he's still producing at a very high clip. But sometimes we have to be careful with stat, but usually it translates pretty well. Okay, so let's start with the clips. As always, let's start with the thing I like the most about his game, and I thought for sure based on the stat last year that his goal scoring ability would be the main thing I like about his game, but surprisingly it was his playmaking ability. So this is another good playmaker that we can add to the bunch this year. There's a lot of good passer in this draft, so let's watch a few clips.
Holding, centered it to Baber. Down low for Giroux. Giroux holding on, into Perfetti. Side on Koski, score! Clear to the corner, Perfetti kept it. Centered it for Cole Koski. He shoots, gave it away to Woldowski, and Cameron ran him over. Big hit. Woldowski right back up, he shoots!
So I would say the main reason why he's such an effective playmaker is that he's able to process the game very quickly. If there's an open line, he's gonna see it very fast, and if the other team is out of position, he's gonna make them pick quickly. The other reason why I think he's such a good playmaker, it's his stick handling. So we're gonna see a lot of examples later in the video, but similar to a guy like Trevor Zegras last year, when a player has good vision plus great stick handling, you cannot play them super aggressively because they're able to deke the first guy and even the second guy, and this is how you can break down the other team defense, by simply deking out the first guy, putting pressure on you. And the other thing is that when you have good puck control, well, that means you're not gonna spend that much time looking the puck, so you can keep your head up and scan the ice. And just having good puck skills sometimes will give you the extra half a second you need to complete your pass. This was one of his best shifts in the 10 game I've watched, and I think it shows a bit of everything. So you can clearly see the stick handling is very above average, very good, close to elite I would say, and the vision also is taking quick decisions. So there's a reason why he's putting that many points, and I think this is a very good example that display a little bit of everything right there.
Koski, one-on-one right wing. Nice move on Jack-Eye. Centered it, Perfetti in front for Giroux. Solovia. Koski in the slot, in front, score! Canceled out by Koski. It is Perfetti across Webb, fires, score!
Cardwell into the zone, finds Perfetti, cuts across into the slot, back for Giroux, shoots and scores.
71 in the career of Cole Koski, puts him 9th all time.
And this one is an absolute beauty. So this is what I had in mind when I said he's able to dig through at least one or sometimes two opponents. It makes him very dangerous. You cannot pressure him too much, otherwise you're gonna look like a fool, like those two on this clip. While we're at it, we might as well go and roll all the stick handling clip, the puck skill, puck control, whatever you call it. So all the next clip are gonna be a display of his ends.
He picks it up down the left side and on Seelovs. Back
behind, trying to center for Afanasio. It's going to be Baber from Duhart. His first point.
Bouncing puck inside the London zone is picked off by Perfetti. Moving right in, a toe drag on Dunkley. Cutting it on goal. Taken down.
They're knocked over, tried to grab it. Now Giroux takes it into the Oshawa zone. Gives to Perfetti. Perfetti goes in behind the net. Tries the top line on the ice for the Generals now, starting to cause problems. But Cole Perfetti moves out across.
And he'll curl in off the point. Nice move. In center.
Now that we've seen the good stuff, let's transition to the thing he's gonna need to improve, and the thing I'm not really a big fan of his game, and it's the lack of physicality. So he gets pushed around pretty easily right now, and if you want to play in the NHL in the near future, I think he's gonna need to get stronger. But not only get stronger, I would also like to see him fight a little bit more, because right now sometimes I see him quitting on plays and he's not trying hard enough, in my opinion. I've seen some game when he was playing on the wings and he was in his zone. It was pretty awful. He was not trying at all. He was basically only waiting to get to the other zone to counter attack. When he was playing center, I thought overall he was a lot more involved. But yeah, if he's gonna play on the wings in the NHL, he's gonna need to clean up his positioning in his zone and his intensity. Felt like he was taking a few shifts off. Now in terms of consistency, if I have to compare Perfetti with Rossi, I would say Rossi is much more consistent. He doesn't have any bad night compared to Perfetti, where sometimes he can go 2 periods, sometimes even a whole game where you don't really notice him. And I know it's very cliche, but the play without the puck, it's pretty important. We heard that a lot. But for me, Rossi is in a completely different league compared to Perfetti. He does just a lot more defensively. And at the end, even if you're good with the puck, you're still like 95% of the time you won't have the puck, so you still have to be good without the puck, in my opinion. This is another example here where I'm not a big fan. I think he needs to get stronger, especially the upper body, and at least try to finish your hit. When you're skating all the ice versus a smaller player, Ryan Merkley, try to play the body, finish your hit, do something, but don't do that. Here is another one-on-one battle that he lost, and it's nothing complicated. To win a puck battle, you need to be more intense. You need to want it more than the other player. Too often I saw him not going in fully committed to win the battle, and he lost a bit too many, and this time again versus Jamie Drysdale.
Put it on the head. Dumped in behind the net. Perfetti back there for it. Trying to sneak away from Moscow. Couldn't do so.
And when I said that he was struggling defensively, this is the perfect example here. So first, to begin with, his read is actually very good. He's at the right place. It's just that he needs to skate backward here. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's like zigzagging. This is bad. You need to skate backward, play the body, and all in all, terrible defensive play here. The final thing I think you need to improve is his skating. So I think overall his agility is nice, but both his top speed and acceleration are pretty average. He doesn't have the separation gear, plus his mechanic is pretty average. I would say he has short stride and it's not super fluid. So when you add the other thing, the defensive weaknesses plus the physicality, I mean, it's starting to be a little bit of red flags for me, especially for a guy projected to go that high. But this is the beauty of evaluating player, because everyone have different views. My taste in player is pretty much based on all the coaches I had previously when I was younger, based on how I played the game. So this is fun because, you know, there's people that I trust a lot. They know what they're doing and they're super high on Perfetti. I'm gonna be lower than most on him, but there's a very good chance I am making a mistake because there's a lot of elite talent with this player. And there's another thing about his game I haven't spoke, but his shot is extremely accurate. He's a legit sniper and he doesn't need that much room to score. And I wouldn't say though that his shot is super powerful, and his release also is pretty average, but what really stands out about his shot is really the accuracy. It's next level, one of the best in the draft.
Left in the power play.
To Solovia, to Perfetti. Perfetti, a wrister, hit the crossbar.
Right, missed the net, and off goes Perfetti with a 3-on-1. One man gets back. Perfetti shoots, brings it off the puck.
Now they force him. Solovyov left side to Koski. Ilya faked the one-timer. Perfetti fires, scores! Back to Ilya, pressured by Wilms. Into Koski, back to Ilya Solovyov. Left wing, Cole Perfetti, slapper, score!
And yeah, look at this amazing goal. So this is why I want to be careful with him, because there's so much talent. I'm scared to make a mistake, so it's possible that I bump him up. Eventually, there's still a lot of hockey left. And it was the same thing with Cole Caulfield last year. At first, I was not a big fan, but after watching 20 games and seeing him score every single game, I started to be a believer. So maybe it's going to be the same thing with Perfetti. But as of now, there's still a bit bit too much that I don't like about his game to rank him in the top 10. This is gonna be it for this week's episode. If you don't want to miss next week's episode on Dylan all the way, please make sure to like, subscribe, click on the little bell thing, and also you can comment below because I read all the comments, so go ahead, don't be shy. I will respond to most of your questions if you have any.